Hello class, my name is Professor Farzin. I wanted to welcome you to my class this term and also wanted to take a few minutes to show you around a bit so you know what to expect and what you need to do on a daily basis as we proceed. So what I'm going to do now is stop the video and I'm going to go into screen share mode, and then I will show you around Canvas. All right, so the first thing you'll want to do is go ahead and log into mycollege.laccd.edu, as you can see here. So go ahead and put in your information and log in. Usually it's your student ID and a password. It's a little different for me as an instructor. Once you sign in, you'll want to go ahead and choose Canvas and go ahead and locate your class and enter it. So in this case, we're going to be clicking on Math 125. And what you will find there is a number of modules. That's the way that I set up the home page. It's very simple. Now, as I start to add announcements, you can, by the way, collapse those or expand them using the little triangle there. As I start to add some announcements, those recent announcements will start populating the very top portion of the home page. So you can always take a look there to see what was communicated recently. And or you can just click on the announcements to see all the announcements that have come in case you want to go back and read a previous announcement for some reason. Just to make you feel the real experience, let me go ahead and go into student view, which is going to be a lot simpler. So this is exactly what you're going to see when you log in. Now, in this first module up here, these are going to be some permanent links that will always be there. So you'll always have access to them. So one, of course, is to this welcome video that you're seeing right now. Then next comes the course syllabus, which you really want to familiarize yourself with. So please take some time to go over it. I'll just kind of highlight the main features and show you what you need to do to obtain and keep it on your device. All right, so first of all, I do recommend that you go ahead and download the syllabus to your device so that you always have access to it, even if your internet is not connected at a given location, so that you always know what's going on in the class, okay? And also notice that if you click this double arrow right here, this will put it in full screen mode, so you get a much nicer, larger view. So make sure that you go through this syllabus very carefully. Always, as is recommended up here, contact me if you have any questions. There is no stupid question. If it's bothering you, it's a significant question. So make sure you contact me. Always reach me through the Canvas inbox. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. I'll have to leave the student view for that to work. So we'll go over that in a second. As far as required items, basically they're listed right here. You're going to need a MathXL subscription, which is a far less expensive version of MyMathLab because it's not directly bundled with a textbook, even though the textbook is accessible from within it, so you get the best of both worlds in some ways. And whereas MyMathLab costs over $100 and a physical textbook costs over $200, this subscription is only going to be $25 for the term. And I wanted this to be as inexpensive as possible for you. So the important note is that a physical textbook is not required for this class, and you will find the MathXL instructions, how to register, etc. at the end of this syllabus. So let's take a quick look. If If you scroll down all the way to the end of the syllabus, you'll find the very, very easy to follow instructions in that last page of the syllabus. The rest of the material, as far as basically we'll be doing everything in Math Excel. Okay, so Canvas is where you'll come to get your lessons. So I have uploaded video lectures for every lesson, so this is where you come in mostly for that. And of course I have links to Math Excel from here. I'll always recommend that you come into Canvas and even launch your Math Excel through Canvas. This way you get credit for the time you're spending. If you go into Math Excel directly, which is doable, you can, you know, skip Canvas and go in there, but then you don't get the credit for the hours you're spending. You see what I mean? So it's always to your advantage to come and initiate your work always through Canvas. All right, and I'll have all the links that you need ready to go in there. So make sure you register for that. Then there is this app called ClassCalc that you're going to be downloading onto your mobile phone. It's a fantastic calculator and it's free, and it'll allow you to do what's called put it into what's called self-lock mode. So the only app that will be available while you're taking the test will be the ClassCalc app on your mobile phone. And at the end of it, it'll tell you when you logged in and when you logged out. And it'll allow you to take a screen capture of that fact, which you can then email me. So make sure you know how to take a screen shot on your phone before test one arrives. The last thing we need is the Respondents Lockdown browser, which is by Pearson, which is who are the makers of MyMathLab and Math Excel. Now that's also free, and the first time you try to launch a test, it's going to ask you to install it. I have created what's called a practice test, which is not for credit. It's just so that you get yourself ready for with all the setup before the actual first test emerges. So we'll talk more about this in our live Zoom sessions as well. Okay, so the best way to reach me is through the Canvas inbox. This is my email address in case you don't have access to Canvas for some reason. If it's down or something and you need to contact me, you can still contact me just through a regular email program here, but I always encourage you to initiate your contacts through the Canvas inbox. A few notes on Math Excel. Remember, this is not a correspondence class, and it's basically a regular face-to-face class which is meeting online because of COVID-19. So keep track of all the work you do in a notebook, just like you would in any class, and keep that so you can study from it. And of course, on test days, you will also be showing all the work that you do on some blank pieces of paper. And at the end of the test, you'll just take a photo of those sheets and send them to me, email them to me, along with the screen capture that you take from the ClassCalc app that we talked about earlier. So please continue reading this, and you'll find a ton of useful information regarding the whole term, and some keys to success which I have learned throughout my career as a mathematics instructor. And then I have a complete assignment list for you. I have paced this at a very comfortable pace, so you end up doing just one section a day. If you follow the procedure here and play the game correctly, this class can be a very pleasant experience. Remember, if you let the material pile up, it's going to be very, very difficult to catch up and do well in the class. So please, for your own sake, do the one set. No matter what you do in a given day, even if you have a full-time job, try to get your one set of math in every day. Okay, so again, I have set it up so that you do just one set a day. And here is the calendar of the academic events for your convenience, etc. So everything is set up for you here. And of course, you know the mode for this class. Let me zoom in on this right here. The class mode is a mixture of synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous just means at the same time. So for example, we'll have some Zoom sessions at very specific times that you'll be joining. Those are explained to you later as well, but let me show you just where you can find them on your syllabus. In the attendance policy, we're going to be meeting from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays in order to basically supplement the video lectures that I already have put on Canvas for you. So these are not going to replace them. You still need to watch all those videos for best results, and with these additional support, you should be in really good shape to complete the term. And I will have some office hours daily as well, in case you need to see me beyond those hours. Those are from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And I do have some additional hours available for one-on-ones in case you can't make it during that time. So you need to let me know and we'll set something up to make something work for you. And so what's really important to understand is that, for example, the asynchronous part, which means we're not meeting at the same time, doesn't mean self-paced. Some students get confused about online classes. They think that just because it's an online class, it's like a correspondence class. No, it's not. Correspondence classes are like that. They're self-paced, but not regular college online classes. They're always going to be due dates, etc., except that you're just going to be doing it kind of within a set period of time. And same with tests. Tests are going to be on specific dates and you get one attempt, but you'll have a period of 24 hours to choose from to do the test within. Of course, you want to start early enough so that the 24 hours doesn't run out. Be careful with that. All right, so please make sure you thoroughly study this syllabus before you proceed, okay? So we will go ahead and exit out of that. And now I'm going to go ahead and leave student view because I want to show you the Canvas inbox. So notice it's going to be on this left side here. You click on inbox and you go ahead and click on that button, which is the compose, and just go ahead and pick your course. In this case, we have the Math 125. And if you click on this contact card here, one of the options will be teachers, and you can just choose Reza Farzin. That'll be me. Always, please, always in the subject of your email, write your class name. So write Math 125. Why? Because I have more than one class and I can quickly and efficiently locate you if I know what class of mine you're in. So please make sure you write that in the subject of every email that you send me, okay? And when you're finished, go ahead and push send and you'll get a reply from me very quickly. That's the best way to contact me, through the Canvas inbox, because that is the fastest turnaround time as far as a response is concerned. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the front. If you're in the inbox, you're gonna have to click on that home page before you can get back into your class. So go ahead and get back into the class. Now, some of the other items you'll find in this permanent module on the top is going to be our test dates and times. I wanted that to be accessible to you at all times very quickly. So if you click that, you will find all the dates and times for your tests throughout the term, okay? Now, again, I have chosen to give you very small chunks for tests, so don't let these number of tests scare you. In fact, it should make you happy, because that means each test is on a smaller chunk, okay? On one chapter only. Also, I told you about the practice test. Make sure you do that right away, so that it's going to force you to download that browser, lockdown browser that you need to have, so that by the time test 1 arrives, you're ready to go, okay? Again, any questions about any of these, don't hesitate to contact me if you run into any issues. Very, very straightforward. All right, so that's another item that we have on the first module. And here's a link to the office hour Zoom sessions, and this will also be the same link, by the way, for our daily Zoom sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? Remember, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we're going to have a Zoom session from 1 to 3 p.m., right? So you can click on this same link and it'll bring you there. Last time I did this, I had I set up my Zoom meetings through Canvas, and it was giving me a different Zoom address for every event, so it was getting really confusing. And this time I decided we're just going to use the same Zoom link for every time that we meet, so just to keep this as simple as possible for you. All right, so just clicking that will open Zoom for you, so make sure you have downloaded and installed Zoom so that you're good to go. The last item in this first module is Math Excel expression entry help. So once you set up Math Excel, let me show you a little bit of that real quickly. So we're just gonna go in here, and and in fact, you can actually, let me show you this way. The first time you try to do a homework set, for example, here it's telling you do 9-1-20 is the chapter O test, and then chapter R test. So these are all review sets. The first one is the orientation of the textbook, and the textbook delivery system, I should say, the Math Excel system. All right, and it's very good. It shows you how to get around the Math Excel system. But let me just go ahead and click on just one of them. Here's the chapter 1 review homework, okay? So there are no lessons here because, again, these are review sets. We will discuss them during our Monday and Wednesday Zoom sessions. Our first Zoom session is on the very first day of classes, which is on August 31st. So I'll be seeing you at 1 p.m. on that day, and we'll be discussing more of this. But if you just go ahead and click one, it's going to take you to Math Excel, which is going to either ask you to log in or it's going to ask you to register, right? Of course, if you haven't registered yet, you're going to want to register through this link right here. Well, obviously, I already have an account with them, so I'll just go ahead and log in to show you. So here, you're just going to say enter Math Excel. And if you've ever used MyMathLab, you're going to find this is a much simpler version of it. It's very nice. It has all the benefits, but it's simpler. So here, notice if you want, you can click that to go into full screen mode anyway, right? So we're going to go ahead and enter Math Excel. So you see the instructions in Canvas told you to go ahead and go into Math Excel and do, for example, chapter 1 review, right? So here is this is the top part is what you're going to see. This is mine. You won't see this, but you'll see this, right? So you're just going to click on homework and tests, and there's chapter 1 review homework. That's the one I was just reviewing. Of course, you're going to want to do all of them, right? There's the practice test I was telling you about, and here's the chapter 1 review homework. So go ahead and click it, and you start with question 1. Just start answering, and again, keep have your notebook. Any work that you do to get to the answer, you will save, and so that you can study from it later. And now, if I just make this a little bit bigger, just type in your answer. Again, that link that I had in the first module, which said, let me bring you back here for a second, Math Excel expression entry help. If you go through this, it will make doing these much easier for you, okay? So they give you all kinds of little tips on how to enter the expressions quickly, very efficiently. They also give you some keyboard shortcuts, and which will be very, very helpful. Keyboard shortcuts for math and engineering, etc. So here you just go ahead and work out what 6 to the power of 4 is, type it in and hit enter, check your answer, move on. It'll give you feedback always. Now, as far as being able to do that, you need to make sure that you understand what that means. That just means 6 times 6. You use 6 as a factor 4 times, right? So I don't have a problem with you using a calculator for something like that. So the main thing is to understand it. So here, for example, if I just type in 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, that's what 6 to the 4 is, right? I can get the answer like that. Or if I just type in 6 to the power of 4, I'll get the same answer, okay? So you'll just type it in, and you can either push this button or you can just hit the enter button, and it'll tell you, great, you did a nice job, let's go to the next question, etc. So in this way you will complete the assignments. And now, don't let this number scare you. This is not typical, okay? Usually homework sets are going to be much smaller than that. It's just that these are review sets, and you really want to make sure that you're ready for the Math 125 material when it comes. These are all from Math, what used to be Math 115. Since we're skipping that and we no longer have it as an option, we wanted to make sure that you're all on board and able to handle the material, okay? So be patient as we go through these review sets. That's not the way the rest of the term is going to be. Once we get to the actual Math 125 stuff, the sets will be much smaller, okay? And the first couple of weeks I will be lenient on making sure that you get the stuff in. But even if you go a little bit past the due date, I'm going to leave it open, but don't take advantage of that and try to delay things. Try to get these done on the day that they're due, but I'm just letting you know, even if it goes past due a little bit for the first week while you adjust, I'm going to let you go back into the set and complete your sets. So even though you may not finish, you can still go back in. By the time that it's due, you're still going to be able to go in and finish it a little bit later. But do not let this become a habit. I want you to try to finish all your assignments every night. That's the ideal situation here. So anyway, so this is what Math Excel looks like, right? It's very, very nice, and it gives you feedback. Notice you have question help. And I told you that the textbook is always accessible through here. So if you watch the video and you still think you could use a little bit more support, you can use one of these 3 features. Now, in this order is precisely what you should use them in, because the first one is like a great tutor. What does a great tutor do? a great tutor never actually does the problem for you, right? They ask you the right questions so that you can do the problem yourself. That's what Help Me Solve This does for you. What it does is it asks you, it kind of guides you through the process till you get to the correct answer. View an example is only okay if you've never seen the material, which should never happen, because if you watch the video, you should have seen the material. But in case it's there as an option, it basically just kind of works it out for you. It doesn't have you go through the steps, right? So in class, I always tell my students that's like a bad tutor who wants to rush out of there and go vape or something, because they just want to get rid of you, right? So they just do it for you. Now, you don't want to choose that option unless you just have no idea how to do something, okay? If you have any idea whatsoever, you should choose the first option, which is Help Me Solve This. Much, much better option. Now, a better thing to do than to view an example is to go to the textbook. If you click that, that will take you to the textbook, and the textbook will show you basically in more detail how the process works and what the procedure is. So that may be a better option. Now, as you go in the textbook, you will have some links to some animations, or you get to try it on your own. So there's a whole lot available to you in this whole situation. Like here, if you click that, there's an animation that's usually in the form of a video. So which comes first, etc. So when you load that, you will get
simplify the expression. Select the operation to perform first. Use the guidelines on the screen for help. When you are finished, click check.
Again, there's a world of information available to you. It's just whether you decide to use it and utilize it or not. That's basically what it boils down to. All right, so that's in a nutshell what Math Excel is going to look like. Very simple, very straightforward, and that's it. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and leave this now. All right, so basically, as we proceed, once this chapter review week is over and we get to our regular program here, things are going to look a little bit different. You're going to have a video lecture first, and then you get the problem set associated with it. So for 5.1, you watch this lecture first, and of course, in an interactive fashion. If you read the entire syllabus, I have pointers about all this. So you want to make sure you're actively involved, right? You don't want to watch it like it's a movie. No, you want to watch it like it's an interactive sport, right? You want to have your paper and pencil available and work through the problems with me. As you do that, then once you've finished it and you've understood it, that's when you go and do the problem set, okay? So when you click that, that takes you to the video. There's me, there's the video that I've created for you for that section, okay? So watch the video, then do the set. Very simple. I've tried to keep this really, really simple for you. Watch a video, do a set. Watch a video, do a set, etc. Okay, so here is what it's going to look like pretty much all the way through the end. Now, I also told you that you should do that practice test, remember? So let's quickly go back into Math Excel. I'm just going to approach it from the outside. So when you go and you try to launch that practice test, which remember does not affect your grade, it's only for practice, right? And there's one thing different about it compared to a regular test. you can repeat it as many times as you want, right? There are countless attempts. A regular test is going to only give you one attempt. One thing you want to really be careful about on test day is do not exit the test for any reason in the middle and try to come back to it, because if you exit it, it's going to lock you out. Okay, that's just a safety, a anti-plagiarism technique, so that people don't exit it and try to go elsewhere to find answers and come back. So if you leave the test screen for whatever reason, you get locked out, and whatever grade you have, that's what you're going to be stuck with. So up to the point of the lockout. So make sure you do not leave the test screen on test days, please. So if you click on homework and tests, you're going to see the practice test. Now, as you launch it, you notice it's going to tell you this test requires the Pearson Lockdown browser. Now, the first time, go ahead and download this, install it, and then after you've installed it, you come back and start the test. Notice every time you come in after that, you're going to see this up here and you're going to see this down here, but ignore it, because once you've installed it once, you don't need to anymore. So you're just going to hit start test, okay? But once you do, then it's going to basically, I'm not going to choose it right now, because if I do, it's going to quit all other applications and have nothing but my test available on this particular device, okay? So that's that. All right, so again, I think this is very straightforward, and I've made it as simple as possible for you. And any time that you feel like you're confused about anything, just contact me, okay? And I will either handle it through email, or we'll set up a Zoom session. Also, take advantage of my office hours, okay? Which you can see from 12 to 1, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Or if you can't make it then, let me know. We'll try to set up another time for you, okay? And that should pretty much explain this stuff. All right, so I hope that kind of takes away some of your anxiety and stress about the class. We're going to have a great term together. Just be patient with yourself if it's been a while since you've done math, and know that we'll get through this, okay? You just have to make sure you take advantage of all the live Zoom sessions that are going to be available with your own instructor. Myself doesn't get better than that, trying to get help directly from your own teacher, okay? And that should pretty much sum it all up, okay? So I will see you at our first Zoom session, which is on Monday, the first day of classes at 1 p.m. and you have the link through Canvas, okay? I'll see you then.